The country remains on tenterhooks as it awaits the decision from the courts on whether elections will proceed on the 27th of October. Due to the unprecedented COVID-19 pandemic, the Electoral Commission decided to appoint former Deputy Chief Justice Dikgang Moseneke to investigate whether free and fair elections could be held under the current situation. He concluded that the October polls would not be free and fair and suggested they be held no later than February 2022. The report was adopted by the IEC, and days later, COGTA Minister Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma declared and gazetted the 27th of October as the day elections would take place, triggering the Commission to announce the election timetable and close the voters' roll. This means registered voters would not be able to update and change their details, and those who would want to submit their candidate details to the IEC would face challenges.
On our part, we think that the election, if it were to be held in October, will not meet all aspects of the Constitution, in that we did not have a registration weekend. So persons who may have attained the age of majority recently will not find their names on the voters' roll. Similarly, persons who intend to stand for political office who may have moved since the last time they registered may not be able to stand for political office.
On the 4th of August, the Commission filed an urgent application to the Apex Court to have its case heard. On the 20th of August, the highest court in the land heard strong arguments from political parties, lobby groups and NGOs who either opposed and supported the IEC's application to have the elections deferred. But in the meantime, it's business as usual for the Commission. But what happens if the Constitutional Court grants the relief sought by the Commission?
If we are successful in the ConCourts, indeed, we will have to republish a new election timetable. And in terms of that election timetable, there would have to be a new candidate nomination closing date, together with other processes that underget the election timetable. Will there be a registration weekend before the 27th of October? It is not possible to have a registration weekend before the 27th of October. If we have to proceed on the 27th, then it will be on the basis of the voters' roll as it stood on the 3rd of August when the minister proclaimed the election date.
But if the Apex Court rules otherwise and decides that elections must go ahead as planned, then the majority of South Africans will be disenfranchised. As it stands, the voters' roll comprises of 25.7 million people.
No matter what the outcome is today, the South African people will lose. Either their constitution will be eroded by failing to have regular elections, or on the other hand, the millions of people who have turned 18 since the last election will be deprived the right to vote in these elections because the voters' roll has been closed since the proclamation on the 3rd of August.
The candidate nomination process held this past Monday has also been less than smooth. 59,272 candidates submitted their nominations. Some political parties like the ANC did not make the deadline. Out of the 278 municipalities in the country, the ANC controls more than 2/3. The party's Deputy Secretary General, Jesse Duarte, confirmed that some of their younger candidates were indeed not registered, but also that the IEC system failed the party.
As we were entering, the IEC system repeatedly froze and locked out our administrators and during the final few hours before the deadline, data already entered into the system was voided and had to be re-entered. The ultimate impact of this is that in around between 29 and 30 municipality voters will not be able to vote for an ANC candidate if the system is not reopened to allow us to make the corrections that we need to make.
As things currently stand, the IEC will notify parties on the 31st of August and candidates who may be appearing on multi-party lists to allow them until the 2nd of September to reorder their lists. The final list will be certified on the 7th of next month. Natasha Piri, SABC News, Johannesburg.